now look towards round number 11. Can Dark Zero win on a different site? That is the real question. There's a duel going on as two members of Dark Zero head towards the bottom of the main stairs. The ash of Joystick is at the top, and I think they can smell it. They can smell that it's there, and unfortunately they try to trade out, but Joystick, he's better, and takes down two.
We will go over the attack and defense roles in this video, the correct way of playing them as well as the correct mindset. You will later see a parallel line between the attackers and defenders role, but more about that will be put a bit later. If you need a team or just want to talk about Siege, join up my Discord community server. Timestamps are put. The biggest question is, what is the best lineup for the attacking or defending team? It varies from a map or even objective to an objective, but the general rule of thumb is to have one primary and one secondary entry, then a soft and a hard support, and then finally one flex. To make it simpler, we'll call primary and the secondary entries just entries, and soft and hard supports just supports, as we won't go in depth about the differences between these two in this video. For the attack, in short, the entry's role is to get the required map control, push out the utility area, and after the utility area was cleared, then you have to buy time for the planters to plant. Sometimes it can even mean a death. Support's role is to either drone or to cut the rotations, deal with the utility and either plant or cover the plant. I will now explain more with the Oregon as an example. Assuming that you are taking laundry and supply and you want to do it from the bunkers or pillars, entries should get the whole tower, attic and meeting under the control. It's important to note how it is not essential to get kitchen, dining and the whole west area in your control. Or if you will be attacking kids in dorms, entries should allow towers walls to be opened as well as to push everyone out of the trophy. To do that, your entries need to be mechanically skilled because more often than not, you'll face defenders in these areas or having vertical holes towards you. Or in this case, they could be contesting trophy push. Maybe even when you are taking basement, you'll be given the area for free. But having people that are confident in winning their gunfights is a must. The reason why two entries is that one can refrag another one, if required. This couldn't be done efficiently without player that will drone you out, or help you to take some of the defender's angles, and that is what flex and supports are doing. You usually want to have two droners. Those will be a hard breacher, an operator that can destroy reinforcements, usually Termite or Hibana, and the flex guy. The other support should cut the rotations if needed. In Oregon's example, the cutting rotation will be someone watching lobby from either garage or outside. Droners, well, they are eyes and ears for the entries. As much as entries need to be mechanically gifted, droners need to know how to drone properly as well as they need to know all the drone hole locations. When you get all that, there will always be an area where more or less utility you'll have to throw. This situation requires operators with explosives or flashbangs. Flashbangs are primarily required here for the ADSs, magnets or Aruni waste, and explosives are for the bulletproof stuff. On Oregon, you will in the higher MMR see a barbed wire by the open hatch and a deployable shield by the tarps. This will require at least two explosives to get it destroyed. Once it is destroyed, entries are back in the game, because they have to contest now the defenders. So in short, whilst the utility stuff is happening, entries should watch the flank, unless entries are the heavy utility operators. Here's just a pro clip showing Ash holding an angle.
Maybe worried about previously, you've still got to worry about BRS and where he's roaming though, because the number of times we've seen him get kills in this map from downstairs on towards the roof or the upstairs, it's quite a number now that he's sat at 6 kills.
Coming into the last minute.
For the basement push, you will need to do a lot of more stuff to get into the bunker. Let me know if you would like to see Oregon's attack map guide in the comment section. When you get it done, it's execution time. Entry's primary role is here to buy time for the Harbreacher to plant. You can take flex similar to fulfilling the roles during the game. Siege is a dynamic game, therefore it is required to have an operator that can do both stuff. Common misconception for the entries is that they are not required to kill, but just to get the required map control. Do not go for kills. Getting map control sometimes can be done within 45 seconds, but sometimes in 2 minutes. Support's role is to drone, but not exclusive to drone only. Let's talk about defenders. Knowing what the attackers' roles are and the whole mentality during the round, the best way to set the defenders' roles are to exactly do the opposite thing what attackers are doing. Entries are taking the required map control, so we need so-called roamers to deny the required map control, or to at least stall as much as possible, by forcing attackers using utility, so they won't be able to use as much utility for the important areas or for the execution. Then you need to have people giving live feed for the roamers or contesting other angles. So the roamers don't need to worry about all the angles but just 1 or 2 max. And these are so-called anchors. Similar to the attack, you generally want to have 2 roamers, 2 anchors and a person that connects anchors and roamers, leaving roamers a safe rotation towards the objective or other part of the area, or reverse, letting anchors to push slightly more aggressive to help roamers, if attackers are doing a one-side push. Just like how it will happen in the following clip that happened in one of the 10-man's game that I have hosted in the Discord community server. Well, good luck. How can they deal with the clash? They can't. Sledge can deal up to 38 damage per grenade. So in Villa, when you're defending avian games, sometimes you want to have roamers in trophy and statuary because that is the required map control for the attackers to get in, before the utility area. The utility area or the important room is the top red stairs, as pushing out someone into red stairs as well as dealing with a shield like this and so on by the 90 will consume a lot of manpower and attacker's utility. Anchors are usually in or a room next to an objective, and in this case an anchor will be behind the shield in Avi, but also another anchor could be stalling the study push with his shield and not in the objective. And the player that connects the roamers in trophy and statuary with anchors in avian games is the player in the middle of the red stairs. If that guy collapses, roamers won't be able to safely rotate back to the side or other part of the map, and anchors won't be able to help roamers if necessary. It is important to understand as a roamer when to fall back, because as a dead person you won't be able to contest any area anymore, nor you will be able to retake it. Sometimes you will need to retake the 90 control of the attackers, so you can play safely in games against the aviator push from the zombie side. Or you can deny the long hallway push from the top main. There is no general rule of thumb when to play till the death or when to fall back. To understand this, you need to know how a map is being played. Anchors should also aid roamers in many different ways, whether to be impact tricking, such as denying hard bridge from Dunne into triple statuary walls, or watching Mudroom from China. So Astra roamers don't need to care about the extra push. This leads to the final part of the video. Anchors are not just sitting ducks in the objective watching cameras, and roamers are not just chickens moving around getting kills or destroying drones. The purpose of each was given. Roamers need to deny required map control, and that will lead to getting kills and wasting utility. The reverse is not necessarily the case, and the purpose of anchors are to help roamers doing that. The parallel line between the attack and the enemy roles is that one role is denying or taking required map control, and the other one is helping them to do that. It's pretty much that simple. There are a lot more roles than just roamers, anchor supports, entries, and flex, which I already have named, but as well as roles like IGL, deep, or shallow roamers, or lurkers are kind of meaningless definitions of roaming, as the point of the buff is to deny required map control. Sometimes you'll need to extend your cells all the way to the other part of the map, like on the villa. Whereas on the other situations, all that you need to hold is the bunker on Oregon, which is literally a room next to the objective. If you want to see more in depth about each role, I have 4 guides in the description, so make sure to check them out.